Hi guys, this is Crafty Cat. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. We are here with a quick swatching video. I've got my brand new Tanmit set of 36 dual tip, what they call brush pens. They have a brush liner and a fine liner tip. We did an unboxing on the channel. So I am using my Canson XL watercolor paper because I want to see if these can be used with watercolor eventually, and I tend to use this book for most swatching. So anyway, let's just flip open to a new page, and I'm just going to put this up here, I guess. So I've got the colors over here, and they have them in this order, so I'll just leave them in this order. They don't have any names or anything, so I'm not sure if we're going to swatch every single one of them, because the only way the swatching would work is if I manage to keep them in this order. And as you can see, I'm not going to manage to keep them in this order. So let's use the black first and write Tanmit 36 dual tip, and I paid $8.99 Canadian on Amazon for those. So while we have the black out, let's test. We already see what the thin tip is like. I hope you guys could see this okay. So we'll just do a thin line with the black on the one tip, and then we'll do a thicker line with this tip. So you can see the two different tips here. So we could do like that, and then I think we could probably lay it flatter and get various lines, yeah. Now the test, can I smell anything? I'm sniffing it. I smell nothing, so that is good. So you can see, you can get a wide variety of lines from thin to thick. You could probably get even thicker than that, which is pretty awesome. So let's just take a look at some of the colors. I don't know, do you want me to swatch them all or just do a little swatch? We're just going to go with the brush pen portion now and just do some swatching. We'll do 2 red. And I'm just going to take a cheap watercolor brush. I don't want to use one of my good ones. So I just have a really cheap Artist Loft brush right here. It doesn't have a tip or anything. I'm just going to dip it in some water. And we'll leave the first one nice, and we'll add water to the second one. And yeah, we can definitely spread that out with water. That's pretty darn cool. So we did the dark red. I think we'll skip the mid red and we'll go to one of the oranges. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just go to one of the oranges, because I'm not going to do all 36 of them. And we'll do just the solid color, and we'll do the watercolor for both of them. And then we'll choose one. There's 3 yellows. We'll choose like a middle yellow that's not too orange and not too green, just to test with water. So we'll do the yellow first. And you can see it really mutes it down. It gives it a lovely muted color. And then we'll do the orange. And I think you probably have to do it right away. I think I might have waited too long by doing 2 colors. Because when I did this one, it spread so much nicer, because I did it right after I drew it on while it was still wet. I think it starts drying immediately. It's very hot here, and even though I have my air conditioning on, yeah, it's super hot. So let's try a green. And I've already cleaned my brush. So I guess the first color doesn't have to be so thick, right? So this is watercolor paper. This is just the Canson XL watercolor paper. Yeah, it works better if you add water immediately after you color, before it has a chance to dry. So could you get rid of the box and just make it all... Like, I want to see if I could get rid of the marker where I colored it and just spread it. Yeah, I think you kind of can. Like, you could still see the box in there. But I have muted the colors a lot. So these are really nice. There's no smell at all. And this is exactly what I wanted to try. Let's grab... Well, you know what? Let's grab a darker green because I like greens. Am I on camera? That's a pretty green. These are very nice colors. And it turns kind of bluey when you add water. Can you see that? Are you guys seeing that? It has a very strong bluish green undertone when you add water. It reminds me of that dye when I used to dye Easter eggs when I was a kid. I used to love that color. So that's important to see the difference when you add water. I'm cruising for a problem because I have a Pepsi Zero right next to where my water brush and my tin of water is off camera, and I am so scared I'm gonna spill this. Cheers. I hope you guys have a cool drink if it's hot where you are. My God, it was so hot. I think I got sunstroke the other day. I was sicker than a dog for 2 days. I went out to camp to put the water line into the lake so that we would have water from the camp. We use water intake. And I was out in the sun too much. And I have asthma and I don't do well in the heat. So it affected my asthma. But I think I also got sunstroke because asthma does not make you nauseated. It doesn't do anything like that. And I have spent the last 2 days sicker than a dog stomach-wise. Oh my gosh, it's been bad. Yesterday, I had to have just... the only thing I could manage was I had a protein shake with lots of ice. And I was okay with that. And then later in the day, I wanted some watermelon, and I had some watermelon, and that made me feel sick. So in watermelon, I don't usually have any issue with, or protein shakes. So I might have to go on a few days of just protein shakes, because even the watermelon was giving me issues. So I had some, usually I would have ginger tea when my stomach's upset, but I couldn't stand the thought of anything hot. So I went out and I got a ginger ale at the corner store, which is down the block from me. I've got too much water here. Let me just... I don't want it to drip all over. Well, and it lifts. It lifts okay. So you can see all of these colors are really super pretty. I want to do one more blue. For me, I like the blues, the greens. Like, my eyes are most drawn to the pinks and the purples. But what I normally use most if I'm doing like landscape are the blues, the greens, and the yellows and the browns. So what my eye is drawn to and what I use aren't usually the same thing. That's a lovely blue. That is really pretty. So the only thing is, if you're using this with watercolor, like as a watercolor, you can't really get rid of your coloring marks underneath. So you would have to keep that in mind, unless I'm just using too soft of a brush. Maybe if I used a harder brush, and I still have lots of color on this brush. Let me switch to a harder brush. Let's go to one of the purple colors. This is more like a purpley blue. And let me grab a harder brush. This is also by Artist Loft, but it's firmer. It's very firm. Maybe I just need to use more water. Let's see. I think I've got way too much water there, and I'm splattering everywhere. Yeah, when I scrub this Canson XL, you can't scrub on this paper. This paper is really, really bad for wet on wet. You could do like one light layer of wet on wet like this with a soft brush, but if you use a firmer brush, you start picking up the paper. So that's one thing I don't like about this paper, which is why I tend to just use it for swatching. I thought I was a really bad watercolor artist when I was just trying to do watercolor using this kind of paper. It really, like, they always tell you it makes a difference what kind of paper you use, but I didn't really believe it. It's so true, you guys. Always listen to the people who have the wisdom of experience. I guess I like to learn some things the hard way. So I'm going to go back to my soft brush. Isn't that a pretty color? Oh, I don't have enough water on my brush. Now I'm going to have too much water. All I do with watercolor is too much water, not enough water. Too much water, not enough water. I have been watercoloring a little bit over a year. It feels like 2 years because I did World Watercolor Month last year, and I'm doing it again this year, so that seems like 2 years, right? It is 2 years of World Watercolor Month, but there's only 1 year separating the 2 years. Like last July to this July is 1 year, not 2 years. So I find that I'm so bad at math and numbers. So to me, it feels like I've been watercoloring for 2 years, but I haven't. I really started using watercolor, like, just mostly last year during World Watercolor Month. I had done a few things before that, and then 20 years ago I took a 6-week course, and that was all my experience with watercolor. So let's go grab a pink. I like that pink. That's very pretty. And I like that they give you a lot of different shades of each color. So I think this one's drying really fast. Like the paint on this one started drying so fast that I'm having a hard time getting rid of the underlying square. I'm going to have to watch a few videos and see how people use watercolor markers. Like as watercolor, you know? But I think it's fun. I love trying new things. Now, guys, if you're here to try to learn something, I'm probably the wrong channel because I'm a newbie at everything. I'm just trying and learning as I go. And if you like that and if you think you benefit from that, then I'm so glad that you're here. But you're not, like, I'm not one of those people that you're going to actually learn something from because this is all pretty new to me. You know what I mean? You might learn from my mistakes, though. Oh, I want to try all the pinks. You know what? Let's try this. This pink here looks... Did I just try this pink? Like, my eye is so drawn to this pink, I think we just... No, it's a different pink. Yeah, it's really hard to scrub out the box for the lighter colors, as you can see. I got rid of most of the box for the green, this blue, the yellow. I don't know why the pinks are staining more. And let's do one of the browns. That's pretty. And let's do, I don't want to go to the darker brown. I want to go to this more earthy, clay-like brown. I've got way too much water on my brush, but maybe that is the key to getting rid of the underlying blob of color. I don't know. And there's this really interesting color next to that brown. That's really pretty. I really like that color. And we'll go to, I would say let's do the light. Should we do the light gray or the dark? Let's do the light gray. I would like to see how light the light gray is. I'm having a hard time getting it out. Oh, that's pretty. It's like a silver. That's lovely. I do like that. That's a nice color. And that one does not want to spread at all. I'm making it lighter, but I feel like it's not spreading. So maybe it is important to go through and do this with every single color and not just a few colors. But I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm getting ready to go out to camp for a month and a half. And I've got so much to do because I'm trying to get all of my... I've already got over 32 videos recorded. I need like at least 10 more, or I'm going to have to drop down to only having a few videos a week. Like I could maybe drop down to 5 videos a week and then I'd be okay. So I might have to do that, you guys. Because my best friend is in town right now. I should be at her camp today. I usually spend a few days with her at her camp with her kids. But I've been too sick. I can't. They don't have air conditioning at their camp. Oh, that's like a purpley black. That's really nice. So I can't go out to her camp today. I'll try tomorrow. Isn't that lovely? I don't know if you can see the undertones of that color. Really pretty. And there's still a lot on the brush. And this, I don't know if this is white, but this is dry now. So I'm just going to use the small side and see if I could just draw over top of this. No, I can't. Alright, let's use the thick one. Let's just draw on top up here. I think it's just another light gray. Yeah, that's not white. That is not a white, but that would be good for shadows. Or maybe not, I don't know. And that does not want to spread very much at all. Maybe I didn't have enough water? Okay, when you add a lot of water, it kind of turns like a grayish white. But you need to add a lot of water to do that. Can you see that? I don't know. Alright, so what I want to do now is... Ooh, wrong one. Let's do a little bit of yellow. And then let's layer the other yellow. Let's see if they mesh. And let's layer with the orange. And then this orange. And let's go back with this orange over here again. And this yellow over here. And then the lighter yellow over here. So you can kind of get a gradient, sort of. But you can see my paper is already starting to ball up. Now let's look through, because this is a watercolor paper, it's very thick. None of the colors have come through to the back. Let's try that again with the pinks. Let's just do light pink. And let's do a below it too. Medium pink. and the darker pink. So that's if I don't go over it with anything. So I'm going over this with the medium pink again. I'm not going to do it below. I'm going to go over it with a light pink over here. And you can see it's already starting to tear up the paper. Just that little bit of work. Now you would, if you wanted to use this just as markers, you would have to use marker paper, I believe. But that's what that looks like. I apologize for the glare from the overhead light. And now let's get some water and do the bottom half and see. If I can make a giant mess. So you can mix the colors. I'm just trying to erase them. See what color I get with all those pinks together. Now they do give you a lot of colors, so I guess there's really no need to mix any colors, but let's just try. We do have oranges, but let's just try. Let's just mix some yellow and some red. And it's kind of like a dark orange, but not quite. So you could mix colors, but then you have to clean off the tip of your brush. These are nice tips. I do like them. And don't forget, you have the little thin tips if you want to do like detailing. Well, you can't see because I'm using the yellow, of course. But you could use the thin tips too, you know. So yeah, so this was just a very quick test of these markers to see how they look with water. I will come back and do a proper review of these markers probably in another month and a half, maybe 2 months after I bring them out to camp and test them and do some work with them. I'm probably even just going to color in some coloring books with them. I'll let you know how that works. I like to color sometime. I don't want to always having to be thinking or creating. I like just to shut my mind off, but I don't like to just watch movies. I bring out a bunch of movies with me to camp to watch, but I don't like to just watch, so I like to do something while I'm watching. So coloring or diamond painting, I'm bringing out a bunch of diamond paintings, and yeah, I think that'll be fun. But yeah, I really think these are cool for $8.99 for 36 dual tip brush pens. I'm really glad I got them. I couldn't believe the price when I saw it. I thought, wow, I wonder if they went on sale during Prime Days. I didn't even have these on my radar, so I don't know. But yeah, I kind of like that. I wouldn't probably color mix. I would just use the colors they gave me, unless you have a proper paper that can handle it. But anyway, that is it for this. I know we didn't do a lot. We didn't do every single color, but I just wanted to get a general idea of what these were like I said, and we'll come back and we'll do a proper video with all of them another time. So I hope you like this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I have other videos out, and subscribe please if you haven't already, if you think you would like this content. I do all kinds of different things. I have a lot of different interests, and leave comments if you have used water markers, like water soluble markers, I guess, water-based markers, how you use them, and if you use them with water, send me some tips. I'd be really happy to hear them. Alright guys, so thank you again. Have a really great day, whatever it is you're doing. Take care, stay safe, and happy crafting. Bye guys.